For years, Vulkan has almost become this mythical update within the DCS community. Whenever somebody mentions low frame rates, stutters, or rough VR performance, somebody inevitably says, just wait for Vulkan. But Vulkan probably isn't going to magically double your FPS. It definitely won't fix the AI, and it absolutely will not suddenly make every massive multiplayer mission run perfectly. So why does DCS need Vulkan so badly? Because Vulkan is not the update that finishes the modernization of DCS, it's the update that finally allows that modernization to move forward. Let's talk about it. Hello guys, and welcome back. Before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to Fox 3 servers for helping us to get the Exodus Squadron server online. If you or your friends are looking for an easy and cost-effective way to host your own DCS server, check out Fox 3 servers and use code EXODUS to save 5% on your entire subscription. A huge thank you again to Fox 3 for supporting the channel and the Exodus Squadron. Now let's get into the video. Good afternoon, aviators. My name is Callsign Exodus, and today we're talking about one of the most anticipated and misunderstood updates coming to DCS World. Vulkan is a graphics API. In simple terms, it is the communication layer between the DCS graphics engine, your graphics driver, and your GPU. DCS essentially decides what needs to appear on the screen: the aircraft, the terrain, the clouds, shadows, etc., and the graphics API helps to deliver those instructions to your hardware. Vulkan is not a completely new graphics engine. It is a newer and more efficient way for the existing graphics engine to communicate with modern hardware. DCS currently relies on DirectX 11, which has supported the simulator for years. But DirectX 11 was released in 2009, long before today's high-resolution VR headsets, modern multi-core processors, and the level of complexity that we expect now from DCS. Think about what DCS is asked to render every single day. We have incredibly detailed aircraft, multiple cockpit displays and MFDs, huge cities, large maps, dynamic weather in clouds, thousands of objects, and then many of us are trying to render all of that at extremely high resolutions inside of a VR headset. DCS has evolved dramatically, but the graphics foundation underneath it has not evolved at the same pace. DCS is attempting to simulate the future of air combat, while part of its rendering foundation still belongs to the past. That does not mean DirectX 11 suddenly stopped working. It means Eagle Dynamics is reaching the point where continuing to expand DCS on top of it becomes increasingly difficult. So how exactly would Vulkan help all of this? Well, think about it like this. Before your graphics card can draw a single frame, the CPU has to prepare instructions telling it what to draw. Every aircraft, every building, every single tree and shadow adds more work. Vulkan gives Eagle Dynamics more direct control over how that work is prepared, organized, and subsequently delivered to the graphics card. It can allow graphics-related work to be distributed more effectively across multiple CPU threads and potentially reduce some of the overhead between the CPU and the GPU. Now, Vulkan does not make every part of DCS use every core in your processor, and it does not replace the multi-threading update that DCS has already received. It just builds on top of that work. The easiest way to think about it is this: multi-threading gives DCS more workers, Vulkan gives Eagle Dynamics a better way to organize and deliver that work. That can improve performance, but the result is still going to vary pretty heavily depending on your hardware, the mission, and your current bottlenecks. I think the biggest place that people are hopefully seeing a bigger difference will be in VR. In VR, average FPS is really only a part of the story. Frame consistency matters just as much, if not more. You can have a respectable average frame rate, but if individual frames constantly take different amounts of time to render, the experience can feel pretty rough. You get stutters, ghosting, and inconsistent motion that feels much worse inside of a headset than it does on a 2D monitor. Vulkan would give Eagle Dynamics much more control over the frame preparation, memory, and scheduling of work between the CPU and GPU. Now, that does not guarantee perfectly smooth VR experiences. The higher resolution headsets will still be extremely demanding, but it'll give Eagle Dynamics a better foundation for improving frame pacing and building future VR optimizations. So what will Vulkan not fix? And this is really where expectations need to remain realistic. Vulkan is simply a graphics API. It primarily affects the rendering side of DCS. It does not automatically fix AI calculations, it does not rewrite mission scripts, it does not solve server networking, and it most definitely does not remove every simulation-related CPU bottleneck. If a mission has hundreds of AI units, all detecting targets, navigating and calculating weapons employment, Vulkan cannot make those calculations disappear. It may improve how those units are drawn, it cannot by itself fix everything happening behind the scenes. The same applies if your GPU is already completely maxed out. Your graphics card still has to render the image. Vulkan does not create free GPU performance, it just creates the opportunity for a more efficient renderer. Now, I'm going to be realistic. The first Vulkan release will probably feel pretty underwhelming to most players. Eagle Dynamics has warned players not to expect massive performance gains initially, and in my opinion, the first priority is likely going to just be getting DCS to run reliably through Vulkan while maintaining the visuals and compatibility that we already have and these days expect from the simulator. The deeper optimizations and newer features will probably come later in its lifecycle. Some players may see a noticeable performance improvement and others may see a smaller difference, and that doesn't mean that automatically Vulkan has failed. The most important update that DCS is going to receive could probably be one of the least visually impressive. Because Eagle Dynamics is not simply repainting a house, they're replacing the entire concrete foundation underneath it. So in conclusion, does DCS need Vulkan? My answer is 100% absolutely without a doubt. Not because it will fix every problem overnight or get rid of our CPU bottlenecks completely, but because DCS is just really outgrowing the limitation of its current rendering foundation. It needs a modern backend for better use of current hardware, improved VR optimization, and future technologies such as newer upscaling, frame gen, and advanced graphic features. When Vulkan finally arrives, we should not judge it entirely by the FPS gains that we receive on the first day. We should judge it by what Eagle Dynamics can build after the transition is complete. Because Vulkan is not the finish line for DCS. It is the runway that the simulator needs before it can move into its next generation. But what do you think? Are you expecting Vulkan to dramatically improve your performance? Or are you more interested in what it could unlock for the future of DCS? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for more DCS news, discussions, tutorials, and everything happening across the world of digital combat aviation. As always, my call sign is Exodus. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the sky.